take a look at women's MMA and the fact that there is not one single thing that is different in women's MMA from men's MMA. And that is exactly the way it should be for boxing. To sit there and say that a woman, needs to do a 2-minute round. And again, I'm not saying that a 2-minute round is a terrible thing as far as bare knuckle boxing. Look at, I'm one of the ones that told him, hey, do a 2-minute round. And there's reasons for it. But when you're talking about the same sport, because bare knuckle boxing is its own sport, when you're talking about, hey, we have different regulations for women and men, you're probably making a mistake. And they're going to sit there and say their things, and we'll talk about what they said. But it should be that Amanda Serrano, being the person that she is, being the fighter that she is, putting in the same amount of time as every man that is a phenomenal fighter puts in, she deserves to have her rule set the same as their rule set. That's it.
I can completely agree with you on that. But like I said about what I said last week was no different than how I feel about females basketball, the WNBA. If you want to make it more entertaining, which is what this is the entertainment business, whether it's boxing, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whatever it is, you need to make it entertainment. Entertaining. That's what this is. So instead of running Amanda Serrano, and I'm talking directly to you, you should come to them with some sort of solution. And I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just trying to give you some suggestions. In the WNBA, I suggested we lower the hoop a little bit so we can see females dunk on each other. I want to see another female get posterized. That's what makes Jordan's legendary dunks over people so the history lives on in kids' rooms up on the wall. Okay. And then what would be more iconic than if you're a young female having your favorite female basketball player, okay, being able to posterize another female that maybe you don't like. And now that's a picture you hang on your wall. Right now, you don't have that ability because the rim is too high. There's a handful, and I say handful in terms of maybe 3 that can dunk.
That's not a handful.
Yeah.
That's someone losing digits.
I'm being nice though, John. Okay. This is what I'm trying to say. This is the entertainment business. We are trying to make sure that the crowds stay.
Yeah. What you're saying is if you took the basket and lowered it 1 foot from 10 foot to 9 foot, that would now take what is basically 2 people in the WNBA able to dunk. And now we would have
40%,
52 people.
Yeah, 50 maybe we have 40%,
102 people.
And 40% of them now maybe potentially can dunk. And now though that it's also obtainable, that you may end up having those athletes work harder to get to that. That's the other thing is that females, no different than male, they will adjust to it. They will make it work. When you talked about females MMA, that, there was arguments that they should only fight a certain amount of time and not do 5 rounds. But look, they will make those adjustments. And over the years they have. And as those fights over the years have gotten way better. And I can give you an example, Weili and Joanna. Hello.
Yeah.
They have that. It was just as good a fight in the first round as it was in the 5th because they've made those adjustments. They've adapted their training to work around that. There's no difference in WNBA is they will start then learning to focus more on the dunking.
I'm glad you bring that up because what we need to do is now Amanda sent a very nice text out saying, something about me, and that's great. And that, look, literally, the expression of talking about the female and time in sports and all that stuff. Great. But then, as you said, the WBC sent us something, and it was what they sent us. I look at and I go, "You're blowing it. You're just blowing it." Because what you're trying to act like, "Oh, we're doing this for reasons." You cannot separate the male and the female athlete when it comes to, well, we're going to do this to benefit one over the other. You can't do that because all it does is make you look like, and I don't care which way it goes, you're looking as a separatist. You can't do it. What they said is, we agree with you. They can fight 3x12s. Okay. Meaning that a woman can fight a 3-minute round and 12 rounds. The problem is that they have a significantly higher risk of suffering a concussion or severe injury, a longer recovery time, and our work is to prevent this type of situations. That's the first thing they said. Let's talk about that, because what they're saying is if you fight a longer fight, you do have there's a higher risk for you to suffer concussion, because a concussion can come at any time during any fight, be it boxing or MMA. Okay. The fight that you brought up, Wei Li versus Joanna, would it have been better for both of those athletes if they had not fought the last 2 rounds? Yes. You've got to say yes.
Like physically, is that what you're
physically
saying? Yes.
Yes.
Would it be better for any athlete to not take more damage for 2
Hello.
more rounds?
So hold on. We were talking just the other day about Adesanya versus Gastelum.
Mhm.
Would it not have been better for them not to fight the last 2 rounds of that, because they both took incredible damage in that? Wouldn't it have been better for Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald to not have fought into the 5th round and to have that fight stopped in the 3rd round? Wouldn't it have been better for both fighters? Absolutely. It would. The less you fight, the better off you are. Okay, that's male or female. To sit there and to say, we're doing this so they don't suffer a concussion, you cannot tell me that a woman suffers a concussion more severe than a man. Men, for the most part, hit harder than the women. The women tend to have fights that go longer based upon the fact that they don't have usually that one punch knockout power that you'll get from a lot of men. So the concussion part is, hey, a concussion can happen at any time in a fight. That's part of the sport. And I agree with them. A concussion's a bad thing. I don't like them. I talk about them all the time when it comes to people talking about someone's leg breaking. I said, look, we have things happen all the time that are worse than a leg break. A concussion, that's your brain, that's your personality, that's everything. That's something that needs to be worried about. And so I understand when you sit there and say it, oh, but there's a higher risk. Sure there is. But if you're not doing that for the men, then why are you doing that for the women? You're separating things.
Can I ask you?
You can't do that.
Can I ask you this?
Go ahead.
Who came first, the chicken or the egg kind of bullshit, right? But this is the thing, and I've felt this way about professional football. Back in the day, they had padded practices, Oklahoma drill, all of those things, and they had suffered concussions throughout practices. They suffered concussions throughout the games. Okay?
Sure.
But I want to ask you, which one is worse? To get your body used to taking that damage and still taking it every single day? Or what we're seeing now is people getting knocked out so bad in games that they're posturing. And you've talked about posturing. Their hands go stiff. Their body goes stiff. It's because their body's not used to taking that type of damage. So
it's like, how many times have you heard about soft skin? We talk about soft skin if we're rolling.
We talk about Dave all the time. Yeah.
But there's a thing called soft skin, and it's real for you. When we have people starting to roll, we tell them all the time, look, they're going to get marks from the gi and everything like that. And you say, hey, you got to kind of build up. You'll build up. Your body will automatically build up almost a callus to it. It makes your skin gets tougher. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with learning how to accept impacts and hits. Your body learns how to accept those things. And the more you do it, I'm not saying it's better for you, but the better off you are at absorbing it. And the less you do it, usually you're not too good at absorbing it when it happens.
100% agree.